This is what I call a situational. It's been very difficult to do this presentation, but so I'm kind of tired of researching. So I'm kind of winging it, but I have practice and I have done my presentation outline. So this is like you are you've ran out of time to research to do your project, so you have to go up there and give it the best you got. Imagine doing sit-ups, push-ups, um, sit-ups, push-ups, um carrying boats on top of your head, moving in the sand, and doing other strenuous activity for 5.5 weeks. Excuse me, 5.5 days. So, like I said, you're doing push ups, sit ups, being in water, and being just doing all of these workouts for 5.5 days with less than 4 hours of sleep. This is what is dubbed Hell Week, and it's part of the training of a Navy SEAL. The Navy SEALs are an important elite group, and their strength is shown in how they approached and how they stopped the Maersk, Alabama hijacking. First off, you may wonder, what does the SEAL stand for? What does the acronym stand for? Where the S-E stands for sea, the A stands for air, and the L stands for land. So the Navy SEALs are able to do operations in these three different areas, not simply in the water. Their insignia is a trident, and it has four main parts to it. One is the eagle, which represents freedom, and that the Navy SEALs are able to swoop down at any moment to do a land operation. The second is a trident, which shows its connection with the sea. The third is the anchor right here, and it is a representation of the previous special ops groups, and it also represents their parent group, the Navy. Finally, the pistol right here is locked and loaded, showing they are ready to do operations on land. So the Navy SEALs are diverse, and because they can do operations in many areas. You may ask, what is the purpose of the Navy SEALs? Well, the purpose of the Navy SEALs is to have a group that can do clandestine, high impact, and small unit operations that large conventional forces cannot do. Sometimes the Navy SEALs will do operations with the large conventional forces and do reconnaissance. Finally, another important thing about the Navy SEALs is that they are able to get in the water. They're a special group that is able to be very efficient in the water, and many locations and many places are located near water. And for an example of how they can be efficient, say there is this small area of water and no vessel can come in, no ship can come in, maybe sea or sea is needed. The Navy SEALs could do the job. The Navy SEALs was established in 1962 by President Kennedy as a group that could do unconventional warfare. I stated that the anchor, I may have not stated this, but the anchor, that is in the insignia of the Navy SEALs represents previous special operation groups. Some of these are the Army Scouts and Navy Raiders, Naval Combat Demolition Units, and also Office of Strategic Surface Operations Swimmers. So some of these groups were important on D-Day and also in the Korean conflict, and they, like some of them were involved in blowing up barriers, some of them were involved putting things down to landmarks for the ships to come in, and then the other kind of different operations in the usual way. So the Navy SEALs are used for small unit, high impact, and clandestine operations. They can operate in many types of terrain, and their importance or their strength was shown in the Maersk, Alabama hijacking. This occurred in April 2009 and involved a ship going from Oman to Kenya in the Indiana Ocean for, I believe it was a merchant vessel, and so they were going from Oman to Kenya, right there in the Indian Ocean. The conflict started on April 8th of 2009. A speedboat with 4 Somalian pirates approached the Maersk, Alabama ship. They were armed with AK-47s. The Maersk, Alabama responded by shooting off flares and also by spraying down the speedboat. Unfortunately, this did not work, and eventually all 4 pirates got aboard the Alabama. Eventually, later on, a pirate was taken hostage, and the crew decided to release the prisoner of the crew. Eventually, the crew on Maersk, Alabama, released the prisoner, the pirate taken prisoner, but the pirates decided to take Captain Richard Williams, the captain of the Maersk, Alabama. They decided to take him hostage, and they put him in an 18-foot speedboat and demanded a $2 million ransom. On April 9th of 2009, the USS Bainbridge approached or came into play. They came to the Maersk, Alabama, and they told the Alabama to continue its route to Kenya. And this USS Bainbridge, along with U.S. vessels and also aircraft, so there was these things there, and they tried to negotiate with the Somalian pirates. Unfortunately, the talks did not stop the pirates. They still had Captain Richard Phillips in a speedboat as a hostage. So the Navy decided to dispatch the Navy SEALs from Virginia, and they arrived on April 11th. Like I said, the Navy, or the negotiating was not working, and at one point they had attached the vessel, at one point they attached the lifeboat. That lifeboat, they attached the lifeboat to the USS Bainbridge, and they did it in a cunning fashion, because the way that they did it was the speedboat was within range of the Navy SEALs, to where if needed they would shoot the hijackers. Well, unfortunately, it did come to this. The Navy SEALs saw that there was a gun raised to Captain Phillips' head. This is an example of how the Navy SEALs are elite, because there are two pirates that were visible, and once that third one got visible, the Navy SEALs shot simultaneously. They all shot simultaneously and got headshots on all three of the pirates. So they were all killed, and finally Captain Phillips was rescued. In conclusion, the Navy SEALs are an important and elite group. They are able to do operations in many types of terrain. They were established in 1962 by JFK, and they did this operation is an example of their strength. If Navy SEALs can go through 5.5 days of training with less than 4 hours of sleep, we should remember this whenever we have a difficult task at hand. Thank you.